Hi, Assalamualaikum and greetings. We are from Group 6. Our title is The Readiness of UTHM Students Face Online Learning During COVID-19. Our group members is Muhammad Shazani bin Zaini, Muhammad Syafiq bin Muhammad Kamrul Zaman, that is me, Muhammad Izzat bin Jamil, Muhammad Akmal bin Musa, and Muhammad Aizal Almazan bin Jamil. I will continue to my part for introduction. Okay, for introduction, COVID-19 pandemic influenced students' readiness in study. Students struggling with online learning during pandemic and several factors influencing learning during the COVID-19 epidemics. So, in this introduction, the readiness of students to adapt the online learning during COVID-19 pandemic has been concerned. Some students may have experience with online learning and were able to adjust easily, while others may have struggled. There are several factors such as access to technology and internet, home environment, and individual learning style that can impact a student's readiness for online learning. Additionally, students from lower income house, those living in rural area may face additional challenge in accessing online learning. So, overall, the readiness of students for online learning during COVID-19 pandemic has varied, with some students thriving in this new format while others have struggled. Next, proceed to the background study. From the background study, the COVID-19 pandemic that have forced many universities, include University Hussein On Malaysia UTHM, to move to new learning method, which is online learning. Thus, this study is to determine the UTHM student readiness during COVID-19 and explain the finding in these studies. Next, we proceed to the problem statement. For the problem statement, as we conduct this study, we found that some UTHM students that are not ready to adapt online learning during COVID-19 in terms of many aspects. The study of student readiness for online learning can provide valuable insight into how well students are adapting to this new method of learning. So, for problem statement, there are several reasons that can affect the readiness of students for online learning, such as access the technologies and internet, home environment, the misinterpretation of study, and limited online material. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Syahani bin Zaini, matric number CN200208. Okay, for this objective research, there are three that we come out with, which is the first one is to determine whether UTHM students have access to a reliable device and internet connection at home. The second is to identify whether UTHM students facing any disruptions that may be impacting their ability to focus on their studies at home. And last one is to determine how engaged UTHM students are in the online learning process and identifying any factors that may be impacting their engagement. So there are also three objective question that we come out with, which is the first one is what is the problem for UTHM students when accessing technology and internet connection at home. Second is what is the problem for UTHM students when it comes to home environment while online learning. And the last one is how engaged are UTHM students with online learning in COVID-19. So, for significance of research, the result for this study are significant because the student will improve their academic grading by learn the main problem of online learning. So for the limitation of study, this study just limited to UTHM student only for online learning during COVID-19. It is not available for other student that from every university except UTHM.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Izzat bin Jamil and I will explain about the literature review and the methodology for this project. So, based on the Gogorovic in the 2011, online learning provides numerous advantages to the student, such as time and space, lower cost, ability to learn on their own pace, and more. For the Werner, Christie, and Cho in 1998, they introduced the concept of student readiness in the online environment. There are three concepts, which are the student prefer online education to the face-to-face education. The second one is the student ability to use the internet and the computer-aided communication for the learning. And the lastly, the ability to participate in independent learning. For the Borotis and the Polymenako in 2004, they define the online readiness as being the mentally and the physically prepared for the certain online learning experience. So let's go to the methodology. So for the methodology, we have three categories, which is the sample, instrument, and a data collection procedure. So this study will be taken from the student at the University Tun Hussein on Malaysia, and we will be aimed at least the 15 responses. So for the instrument, the data will be collected by using a Google Form survey. The survey will consist of the 5 pages. The first page will be the introduction and a guide for the responses. The second page will be the information of the responses. And the third until the fifth pages will be the questions of each objective. In for there has a 2 option for the sum question and a 3 to 4 option in some question also. So for the data collection procedure, a Google form will be used to distribute the several questionnaire. The form will be include the instruction and the pie chart will be obtained after we have collect the 15 responses of the student UTHM as in the final data. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning. My name is Muhammad Azal Mazami Jamil, metric number AN200079. So today I will present about the findings data for part A, which is the demographic for the respondent. Okay, so there will be about 6 criteria for the demographic, which is the gender, and then the age, and then the faculty, followed by the year of study, and then semester, and lastly the ethnicity. Okay, so for the gender, okay, there are two. The first one is the largest, the majority, which is about 70%, which the male, and then followed by the female, about 30%. Okay, for the age, in the questionnaire we put about 4 options, which from the 18 to 20 years old, and then the second option is 21 to 23, and then the third option is 24 to 26 years old, and then the final option is about above 26 years old. Okay, so most of our respondents are between 24 to 26 years old, which is about 46%, then followed by the 21 to 23 years old, which is about 40%, and then the third one is about 18 to 20 years old, which is 8%, and then the smallest one above 26 years old, about 6%. Okay, next is for the faculty. Okay, there are 3 faculty that contribute to the questionnaire, which is the first one is the FTK, the largest, the majority, about 66%, and followed by the PPD faculty, which is about 18%, and then finally the FAS, which is the smallest, about 16%. Good. For the next criteria, which is the year of study. Okay, so there are 4 year of study, which is the first year, second year, third year, and the final year, the fourth year. Okay, so majority of the respondent are from year 3, about 52%, And then the second one is the year 2, which about 28%, followed by the year 4, 12%, and then the smallest one is the year 1, which only about 8%. Okay, so next criteria is semester. Okay, as you can see from the pie chart, the majority of the respondent are in the first semester, about 90%. Okay, and then followed with the second semester, only 10%. Okay, the last one is the ethnicity. Okay, so the majority of the respondent are Malay, which is 74%, and then followed by the Chinese, 20%, and then the Indians, only 4%, and the smallest one, the others, which is only 2%. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, my name is Muhammad Akmal bin Musa and my number metric is CN 2089. Okay, I will continue the presentation from my friend before, and I will present about finding data, part B, questionnaire based on research question. Okay, for research question 1, what is the problem for UTHM student when accessing technology and internet connection at home? And there is 3 sub-questions. Do you ever experience internet issue while taking online class? Does weather affect your internet connection? On what kind of technical issue that you encounter while taking online class? From this graph data above, we can see that many respondents agree with question related to the internet issue during online class. Furthermore, there are many respondents that had technical with their cameras during online class. Okay, next for the research question 2, what is the problem for UTHM student when it comes to home environment while online learning? And there is 3 sub-questions. Do you prefer study at home? Do you comfortable during online class at home? And if you are having distraction at home, what kind of distraction that distraction it is? From the graph above, we can see that many respondents is prefer study at home and feel comfortable during online class. Besides, there are a lot of distraction at home, but the most of the respondent pick is others, maybe because of the distraction from their friends. Okay, and for the research question 3, how engaged are UTHM students with online learning in Covid-19? Okay, there is 4 sub-questions. Can you concentrate while taking online class without any physical interaction with other students? Have you ever slept during online class? Do you understand what you have learned from online learning? And how much that you skip online class? Okay, from the graph data above, it can be seen that a lot of respondents had skipped online class more than once, and they also have slept during online class. While other question, the most of respondents are very positive with the question. Okay, that's all for our group, and thank you for listening our presentation. Thank you.